Hey there, it's Susan Pierce Thompson and welcome to the weekly vlog. It's the last vlog of 2020 and the vlog that leads us into 2021. How on earth do you encapsulate a year like 2020? Sometimes as I stand on this little taped tea on the floor of my basement here in this little studio, I feel so underprepared for the task. I mean, really, how do we wrap up such a year? So, in preparation for shooting this vlog, I was sitting there at my kitchen table scrolling through quotes on adversity. I'm like, somewhere in here is the magic I'm looking for. And sure enough, I found it. I found a quote by Walt Disney, and I thought, that's good. We need a quote by Walt Disney right now. And here's the quote. "The flower that blooms in adversity is the rarest and most beautiful of all." And I started thinking about manure and how manure is really good fertilizer. And that's my hope for 2021, is that we plant flowers that bloom in rare splendor and beauty, born of the adversity of 2020. And you know, when I look back at the birth of Bright Line Eating, at what Bright Line Eating comes from, what we stand for around here, it's a very fitting image. I can go back to a moment in 2015. I don't know if I've ever told you about this moment before. I was working on my book, the first book, Bright Line Eating. And I was working on the beginning of it, the introduction, which was my story. And I was sweating about whether to include in there the bit about prostitution, the bit in my story. You know, I was 19 and addicted to crack, and I became a prostitute. And I talked to my husband about it. Should I put that in? He was like, oh. I talked to my dad about it. Should I put that in? And he's like, oh. And finally, what I came to was, well, you know, at that point I'd been clean and sober for, I don't know, whatever, let's say 22 years or whatever it had been. And I'd been sharing that bit of my story in 12-step meetings all those years. And I thought, you know what? I would rather put it out there myself and get to frame the discussion around it. Like, the lessons that have come from that, and my floor as an addict was low. You know, my bottom was low, and my ceiling has seemed higher because of that, right? The depths that I came from mark a low water point to measure against, and in that way have proven to be fabulous, really. And there's so many instances in Bright Line Eating of pain and despair and adversity and trials and desperation and frustration and failure over and over and over and over and over again, leading to triumph, leading to fertilization and fertilizer for the seed, the spark, the inspiration, the growth, the development, and finally the blooming and maturing of the flowers that are going to come. And another big one was the repeated struggle year after year after year that I experienced in my own food journey after I started Bright Line Eating. While I was simultaneously on camera touting myself as the expert at Bright Line Eating. Sometimes I was not able to keep my bright lines myself, and I was in private binging, sometimes coming on camera and telling you about the binges. I know I have a vlog called The Morning After a Binge. And that pain and those, what do I call that? Those repeated, torturous, what felt like failures, gave birth to the REZOOM reframe and the course called Reboot, REZOOM. and the masterclass series, the REBOOT, REZOOM masterclass series, where I teach a whole new way of relating to the bright line eating journey that is far more robust, far more successful, far more mature and appropriate, frankly, than the way I used to relate to it, and so many still do. That, sort of, we're getting it together and we're getting on the wagon. Then we're staying on the wagon, and if we fall off track, it's an emergency, and so forth. And now we're gaining back weight, and so right now, as we transition from 2020 to 2021, I am, and the whole Bright Line Eating team is eager to provide you with all of the tools that we can for fun and for free. This is a time where we put out so much into the world: videos, webinars, Facebook Lives, the masterclass series. It's all available for free right now. And I'm putting a link down below this vlog because I've put together a concierge page for you. Well, I haven't put together anything. My team has put together a concierge page for you. All that right down there is way above my pay grade. I have no idea how to program tech like that. But we have a concierge page for you, and the information, the psychological reframe, really, that goes into REBOOT, REZOOM is absolutely, I think, the most fitting gift that I could give you as you look to transition from 2020 into 2021. And that holds, actually, whether your lines are bright and you've been leaning into your lines and working a heck of a program and you've made it through 2020, bright lines intact, bright lines shining. It still holds. This reframe is absolutely going to fortify your program and give you a new way of looking at what you're doing so that you can proceed down the path stronger and really inoculated against relapse in the future. And it especially holds if your lines have gotten wobbly, or you're downright in the ditch, or you've never started Bright Line Eating yet. You've been maybe sitting back, thinking, biding your time, watching the double Dutch jump ropes fly, wondering when it's your time to jump in. No matter where you're at, or not even yet at, on your Bright Line Eating journey, this is my gift to you at this time in the year. I'm also doing a webinar that I'm working on feverishly right now. It's going to be on New Year's Eve. The webinar registration page and the replay link will be on that concierge page. So that concierge page is your gateway to everything that's happening here at the turn of the year. Because if you want to do something powerfully, sustainably different with your food in 2021, so that you are empowered, you are on your bright body transformation, you are feeling free and automatic and easeful and happy, and the weight is melting off, you're transitioning into your bright body, we want to support you in that. And in my life, there has been no greater example of a flower blooming in adversity, being rare and pure and gorgeous and ever more meaningful because of the adversity that it came out of than my Bright Line Eating journey. It is the quintessential example for me of hardships leading to blessings. And yeah, as I scrolled through 201 quotes on adversity, it really struck me that happy times, great times, I love them. They're enjoyable. I will not turn down a happy day. But that's not really what the magic of life is fundamentally made of. It's really our struggles that show us who we are. And what I love about Bright Line Eating is that we don't have to struggle alone. We are here for each other. And together, we make it so that the treatment for this condition of overweight, obesity, food addiction, obsession, compulsion, cravings with food, the treatment leaves us better off than we were before we caught the disease. Bright Line Eating recovery truly is the most beautiful, rare, pure flower that blooms in adversity. So, goodbye to 2020. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Bye-bye, 2020. Welcome, 2021. And I'm joining with you in being very mindful today of the seeds that I'm planting and the flowers that they will bloom into. I love you. Welcome to a new year. I'll see you then next week.